Government is not reason. Government is not eloquence. Government is force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Daniel Hapney. This is The Real Story. Tonight, I've got a really good episode for you. I've got some great guests, and what we're going to talk about is the new pandemic law that's up at our State House that they want to, put upon us. And there's some things for us to consider. So with me, we have Mr. Ken Wagner. Okay.
Nice to be here.
Say hi to the audience.
Dr. Paul.
Dr. Paul's with us. Let's see. I'm doing silence because then he's going to run in there. There you go. I'd also like to introduce Dave Kopacz.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Rich Aucoin and Mr. Bob Dwyer.
Hey, Dan.
It's good to see you, Bob.
Good to be seen.
Yeah. What I want to, try to get across to the viewers, or at least and extract from you, okay, is some of the, some of the important points about how this all started. We're all talking pandemic now, and my little intro for the viewers is going to be: do you remember the hype? Do you remember a couple weeks ago we were seeing people with masks on? And anyone who's in the medical profession realizes that those masks don't stop viruses. Okay? But we kept on seeing that. We kept on seeing that. We saw all the people on the talking heads on TV, all of our, CBS, Fox, NBC, and they're all telling us pandemic's coming, pandemic coming, pandemic, pandemic, pandemic. They're conditioning us. And so, of course, the question is why? And so, you start wondering, is this a lot like the light brights that were under the bridges? Are we overreacting to something because the media well, that's my audience. Have they lied to them before? They're pushing this pandemic thing. So a couple things I'd like to go with is, one is, does the audience figure out, hey, do you guys remember all the commercials? Do you remember Fox and Mexico? And, we're going around the world. And, of course, the World Health Organization, I get windy. It's easy for me to say that we've signed treaties, okay, so that with the World Health Organization we now can what? They're at a level 3. This reminds me a lot of the fuchsia, magenta, green, blue, yellow. Do you remember the terror thing?
Absolutely.
Well, now we have the World Health Organization telling us that what? We're at level 3, we're at level 4. So, I'll start off, with you gentlemen, because for the viewers anyway, this hype has pushed our legislators to consider making a pandemic law. And so, Rich, if you would, tell us a little bit about what's in the pandemic law.
Well, it depends on which senator you speak to, because they all have their different spins on it. But we did some lobbying at the State House this year, and I'd consider it successful lobbying, considering the bill did pass unanimously in the State Senate. And that's when we mobilized and started going up to the State House. And before this, I had not believed that lobbying actually worked, but it did work, because it stopped dead. It ended up dying in committee, in the Ways and Means Committee in the House. And so it was very successful lobbying. We were glad to see it. But what the bill would do, if it passed, would have been to mandate that people be vaccinated with this very dubious vaccine. Vaccines in general are very controversial. A lot of people don't like to take vaccines to begin with. So it's highly controversial for any state body, any government body, to declare, well, we're going to make this mandatory, everyone's going to have to take it. Now, I spoke with a couple of the state senators, and they said, oh, no, it's not mandatory. You can choose to have us quarantine you instead. To me, that's no bargain. That's really still force, the government using force against you. It should not be. The reason I'm here today is because I want every citizen watching to know you have a right to do with your body whatever you want. If you want to take the vaccine, that's your right to do. But if you have concerns about it, if you don't want it for yourself or your child, you have a constitutional right to say no to this vaccine.
Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that in mind, as you notice, I introduced the people and I said, gee, the hype. And now they have, hopefully they have an understanding that they're a sovereign person, that they can decide whether or not they want to take anything, and that there's no government on the earth that can turn around and mass medicate and mandate, But when I say but, behold the underlying truth, we have all these preparations going on. Not just here at the state level, other states like, I want to say Arkansas will mandate, oh, you've got to take it, okay? Utah is saying, well, we're getting ready for it, okay? We have FEMA doing drills as recently as 6 months ago in Illinois, where they were guarding, this was the drill, to utilize the state police in Illinois to guard the vaccine trucks. Now, as a conditioning thing, think about you're in law enforcement and you're being conditioned to guard vaccine trucks. What does that mean? That means something in that truck is valuable, like you guard a Brinks truck. Okay, and so they're being conditioned that, oh, the time's going to come when we're going to have to do this, do these drills. There's a reason you drill stuff. Anybody who's been in the military, okay, or has been a pilot or anything, submarine commander, there's a reason you do drills. We're going to do the surfacing drill. Why? Because it's good to get to the surface every now and then. Where I'm going with it, though, is this preparation. We see it, around the country, and now we see our national leaders telling us, well, prepare for shots in the fall. Okay, we see, well, we're gonna change healthcare. We're gonna take, when I say take over, we're gonna, like every other government or whatever, we're gonna get bigger and tell you, we're gonna control everything. But all this preparation's going down around us. I don't know. Have you guys seen any of the preparation stuff that they're doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Have you seen? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, you've got executive orders back when Bush, the honest guy, right? When Bush was in, he was doing what? Saying, well, here's an executive order. I can mandate the vaccination or the medication in the entire country. Okay, and as you were saying, not only is it dubious, this particular one, okay, let alone the companies that we're contracting to do this and how they benefit, that's a whole nother story, but there's history here. See how windy I can get? I don't need to get windy, but anybody remember 1976, the bicentennial year?
Yeah, the 1976 swine flu.
Yeah.
Well, what was the origin of that, Dan?
Well, just like the 1918 pandemic flu, it started off in New Jersey at an army base where they took an individual who was sick, and he said he's sick, reports in the morning, I'm sick, and they force march him. He collapses. The first person who treats him is a sergeant, gives him multiple, tries to resuscitate him. This person dies. 4 of his fellow soldiers get sick. They recover after a week or something. But because of that, our nation was told we all need to get vaccinated.
46 million Americans were vaccinated from the hype.
Yeah.
They took the vaccines. And from what I read is that, like you said, one person died.
Yeah.
From the
only one.
Right.
In the entire country.
25 people died from the vaccines.
4,000 filed lawsuits with the government, and the U.S. government ended up paying billions of dollars, which back in '76, okay, money had greater buying power. Long and short is they took the government to court and they won. And it was really interesting. I mean, if any of you pull up old 60-minute shows, and I've shown the people here some of the clips from it, and that is that the vaccine that they said we tested, just like right now, I mean, anybody who knows vaccines, they mutate after they leave every body because they got to, anyway, where I'm going with it is the vaccine they injected people with was different from the vaccine that they tested. And the CDC came out and said...
Why would they do that, Dan?
Well, maybe it benefited somebody. Maybe they either saved money or made money. I'm looking at now, and of course you wonder, who benefits now. But I was just, for the viewers anyway, the history part of it is we've been here before. This is not the first time. And we're being sold by a media usually that doesn't always tell us the truth. If you believe there were weapons of mass destruction, you can go with that. Maybe run down and get your vaccine shot right away. Matter of fact, slide your baby's arm under it. Why not give it to your wife? Anybody you love. Get the dog vaccinated. It's easy to be windy.
So this is ultimately this could just be very good marketing for somebody that stands to make what, millions, billions of dollars?
Could it be the same Donald Rumsfelds and James Bakers and the Carlyle Group? And possibly,
Donald Rumsfeld's invested in which company again?
Well, when you buy the Tamiflu.
Tamiflu, that's
which,
right.
you got avian flu, well, we'll give you what we recommend Tamiflu, which has its own side effects and fun parties going with it.
I believe there's a big batch about to expire as well.
2010.
Interesting, isn't it? How we got to move that. We got to move that product.
I think there's didn't Tamiflu project revenue gains
right.
for 2009?
For 2009, they projected 531% revenue gain on.
I'm going to call my stockbroker right now.
There you go.
That's called a booming economy, by the way.
I think that one thing that people should be aware of is that unlike 1976, when people sued for billions of dollars, the companies involved, because of, I believe, an executive order that was signed, I believe, by President Bush, they have no liability.
Immunity from prosecution.
Total immunity from
Judge
prosecution.
Napolitano just said that in a press conference. There is no liability for these vaccines.
Unless criminal intent can be proven. That's the one loophole. If they can, first of all, we should be very nervous that they haven't learned from 1976 because they're rushing this stuff to market now. There is not proper testing being done on this vaccine that's about to be rolled out, and that they're trying to make mandatory. If that isn't cause for alarm, I don't know what is. They should have learned from the past, and instead they're making the same mistake again, if you want to call it a mistake.